For this project, we want to create a program that will calculate the sum of the interior angles, the measure of each interior angle, and the measure of each exterior angle for any regular polygon. To do that, we're going to use a program called Geogebra. To start to build this program in Geogebra, you're going to have to start by going to Schoology. In our front page, there's a folder called Midterm Projects. You click on that, and we're looking for the Polygon Angles in Geogebra app. So Polygon Angles in Geogebra. When you click on it, it'll open a spreadsheet, or it'll open a Geogebra page. What we want to do is create a page like this where we have a polygon, and we have the calculation for what the interior angles add up to, what the measure of each interior angle would be. Same with the exterior angles and the measure of each exterior angle. But what will make this one special is we can change it and the values are recalculated. So we can set it to any polygon size from all the way down to the triangle, all the way up in mine, up to a 20-gon. Now remember, we're going to build this inside Schoology so you can submit it individually. All right, so the first thing you want to do when you have this thing is we want to start by making that slider, that thing where we just drag the dot along a line and it changes how many sides the shape has. The tool for that isn't showing here. You have to click on the More button, and you gotta kind of hunt for it. Now this program updates once in a while, but for the way it's working right now, I scroll down after I've clicked on More, and I gotta click on More again to find it. And if you scroll up under the section that says Measure, where you have an angle with a given size, we're looking for the slider option. So you click on Slider, and click on the screen someplace. I'll give you this little menu on how you want to set the slider. Now this is for how many sides our shape has. Polygons, the smallest number of sides it can have is 3, so we're going to set the minimum to 3. We're going to set the maximum. I'm going to set it to 20. You can make it bigger than that. We want to count by ones. We don't want to count by any sort of decimal because there's no such polygon with 4.5 sides. It's always going to count by ones. On the top here under the name, I'm going to change it to N because we traditionally use N to count the number of sides. And if you hit OK, again, before we do that, change the name to N instead of A. The minimum is 3, the maximum 20, though you can change that, make it bigger if you like. And the increment, how much it's counting by ones. If you hit OK, you should get a little slider here. And as you drag it across, it counts between your lowest and the highest number, counting by ones. We should not have any decimals. Next, we're going to draw our shape. You need a tool for a regular polygon. Now at the top, there's a tool that just says polygon. We don't want that. You got to scroll down until we find the one that says regular polygons. It's all the way near the bottom under a section of tools called polygons. You want the one that says regular polygon. Select that tool. We can click on the screen in 2 spots, and it'll ask you how many sides do you want this polygon to have. And we want it to be able to change. We want it to have however many sides our slider is set to, and our slider's name is N. So I'm going to change the number of sides, the number of vertices, to N. And so it will change based on how I move the slider. So I can make it have anywhere between 3 and 20 sides on mine. Now once we have this picture done, which is kind of oddly fun to move, we're going to do our calculations here. So I'm going to move this thing, scroll the tools down till I find the text, so we can put some text in here. And the text should be all the way near the bottom under Media. I'm going to select the text option. I'm going to click over here on the side, and there's 4 things we want to calculate. The first one is what the sum of the interior angles are. So I'm going to literally type in sum of interior angles. Oh, and again, fun error there. What's happening? Cancel. I want to type it there. Is where I want to type it in that original box. Sum of interior angles. And put that up. And that's going to be the first thing we calculate is some of the interior angles. We're also going to calculate 3 other things, which you're just going to repeat. Click the text box and type it over here. And you'll just repeat with the text box until you have 4 items we want to calculate. Some of the interior angles, the measure of each interior angle. Some of the exterior angles, which we know is always 360. That one will be easy. And the measure of each exterior angle. So now everything's set up, and all we have left to do is our calculations, which we want to change based on what we set the slider to. To do that, we're going to use the text again, but here's where it gets to be a little bit of programming here. So I'm going to select the text box, and I'm going to click next to the sum of the interior angles, and I get this. And instead of just typing in a number, because we want it to change, we're going to go to Advanced, And down here on the bottom, there's this little GeoGebra symbol, looks like a little pentagon here. We're going to select that, and it gives us all these variables that are involved in our program here. Now we set the number of sides to n. That's the name of the slider. So we're going to scroll down until we see the little lowercase n, not the uppercase n, the lowercase n. You'll notice it's a different color because it's something that we created. I'm going to select that. When you select it, it creates a little box, not just a letter, but a box. That means we can turn this into a formula and make some calculations. So I'm going to double click on the box that has the n in it. And here's where I can type in the formula. What I want to do is take the number of sides minus 2 times 180. I'm just going to type that formula in where I have in parentheses n minus 2, close the parentheses, times 180. And if I hit OK, it's going to actually calculate that. It's going to take the number that we have from the slider, subtract 2 from it, and multiply by 180. And you'll know if it was working or not, because when you move the slider, that calculation will change. You can do a quick check, set it to 10 sides, and I get 1,440. You can check yours the same way. And then we're going to do the measure of each interior angle as well. And again, we're going to select the text box. We're going to go over next to that, so where we can put the answer for that. And again, we're going to select under Advanced, under that little pentagon symbol, we're going to select the letter N again, which is where we're going to calculate. And I'm going to double click on it so I can type a formula in there. Now for this, to find the measure of each interior angle, we still do the n minus 2 times 180 thing, n minus 2 times 180, but that gives me the sum, which we've already got. What we now want to do is divide that by n, the number of sides. So I'm going to hit divide, which is down by the question mark on your keyboard, and I want to divide it by n, however many sides it has. If you hit enter here, now we should get the measure of each interior angle, which again should change as you change the number of sides of the shape. If you want to check to make sure you get your calculations right, when your slider's at 10, this should be, each interior angle should be 144. Now the last two calculations are going to be left to you, but that should be pretty easy because one of them is really simple. The sum of the exterior angles is always 360. You don't need a calculation there. You can just set that as a number. But the measure of each exterior angle, you got to take 360 degrees and divide by n, the number of sides. But you basically do it the same way we did the other two. All right, good luck.